Guys, hi, I thought I'd do a YouTube video today just talking about some of the core principles that I think you need to have in a recruitment business in order to be successful. Now, as you will know, if you followed my channel for some time, and if you don't, let me just remind you, I built a recruitment business 14 years now. I've had a 360 traditional business, and now I have a 20-person lean and agile business that does multi-seven figures and kicks out a nice profit at the end. I have staff all across the world. I believe in offshoring, I believe in a marketing-led approach, and I believe in having a small agile team that can perform as well as any big team, as long as you're using all the tools and marketing effectively. But one thing, even if you've got 1 person, 2 person, 20 people, even 50, 60 people businesses, one thing that I really feel that's missing these days is work ethic. I've noticed, I got into recruitment back in 2007, and I came from I was working in the communications and marketing background before that, when I worked in the business development team of that. I genuinely learned to graft. I learned things were a numbers game. I learned sales was what you put in was what you get back. And I've just increasingly noticed the amount of recruiters coming into the market, the amount of new people coming fresh in who seem to want everything on a plate, but not understand some of the core values and the core principles that you need in business, and that's working bloody hard. I don't mind where you are, okay? But if you put the hours in, if you put the graft in, if you reach out to the right amount of people, if you speak to the right amount of candidates, if you actually genuinely work hard, that's what you're going to get back. There seems to be this kind of, somewhat bizarrely, people seem to not want to meet customers anymore. It seems to be a frequent thing that I'm seeing with a lot of the people that I'm interviewing, a lot of people, even with our own staff sometimes, I need to go and push them out to go and meet people. This communications, recruitment, both the industries I've worked in, they are people businesses. Let me tell you now, go and meet your customers as much as possible. Focus on retention as a business. Retention is what's always going to increase your profits as a business. Getting the most out of the people that are already transacting with you. Yes, you need to do new business. Yes, you should consistently be doing new business. Yes, you should have client acquisition funnels working, but you've also got this big pot of gold. That is your existing clients that need to be seen, need to be loved, and need to be nurtured. People just seem to hide behind Zoom, hide behind video calls. Look, I get some people run international businesses, but surely there's got to be a lot more client interaction if you're going to try and nurture and get more business out of people. Try and see your customers as much as possible. It seems to be an art that's lost, and I'm telling you now, you need to go and do it. The other thing is metrics. Like, I had a magic always formula, and that was I had to have 5 different candidates seeing 5 different customers per week. If I did that, I would have 20 first interviews going out with 20 different clients, and I would always make a good amount of money. When I was billing recruitment, you can ask anyone that's worked with me, I billed $1 million+. I'm sure if I just put myself into it now, I could do that, okay? It's something I'm very capable of doing. And I did it by always understanding my magic 5 and 5 formula. I always had to have 5 different candidates out with 5 different customers each week. If I did that, then I had 20 different jobs on. I could manage that. No matter what went through the funnel, I would always get a successful form at the end of it. Nowadays, I'm just seeing so many business owners seem to sort of flip-flop around with their staff. I've met people and I was like, well, how do you know what good is? How do you know what successful is? How do you know how you're doing well? And the bosses just seem to leave people alone. They seem to sort of be very happy with them to work from home in a completely isolated environment without any training. Yes, I'm all for people being within houses and being able to work in their own time and work from home, etc., etc. We do that in our business, no problemo. But we make sure that people have got the training and the tools that they need in order to do that. And some of our juniors don't, so that's why we're in the office some days, because they can learn on the desk, they can learn from the individuals. We can see how well they're doing and we can help them. Yeah, I know some businesses are set up as remote, but I'm going to be honest with you, if you're going to set up as a remote business, you can only really hire experience. Don't hire juniors and stick them behind a laptop in their bedroom where they're not going to get any training, or expecting them to train from a manual, because people just aren't going to learn. Some people get fired after 3-4 months because they've not billed when they're not got any darn training in the first place. So it feels to me like the recruitment business has gone a bit soft on all the metrics that used to make it so successful. Everyone is looking for great people, but don't get me wrong, the market is ever more competitive. You've got to understand your numbers. The more candidates you're out of it interviewing, inevitably the more deals you're going to do. Don't ever forget that. The key things to remember are your first interviews. I think first interviews you've got out. If you've really got a good track of what your first interviews are, and there's a good heavy number there, unless you're really, really bad and don't know what good looks like, then you're going to make money. You've got to focus on something that's going to really serve you well. You've got to go and meet people. You've got to go and make sure that people understand the personality behind the brand. If you're charismatic, use your charms. Make sure people understand that about you. So there you go. A little bit of a moan, a little bit of advice, a little bit of observation of what I'm seeing. I would really, ultimately recruitment is a tactical sales job. It's one of the hardest sales jobs going. And what you put in is what you get out. That is the beauty and simplicity of it as well. And if you can combine intelligence with hard work and go and throw some volume out there, you're going to make lots of money. Don't ever forget that.